this morning. There we are. So welcome to Sue and to Michelle. And hi, Julie. I like your trousers.
Pajamas.
I wondered if they were pajamas, but it's really good. I've got Christmas jumpers. It's time for Christmas jumpers.
Notice the festive jumper.
Yeah, Christmas jumpers are out. Right. Okay. So we are going to start in Tadasana. So come to stand at the end of your mat. Or in the middle, wherever's comfortable for you. And just find your Tadasana. So just have a little rock back and forth on your feet. I just realized I haven't muted you all. Yeah, so just having a little rock on your feet, just grounding your feet into the mat. Just do that a few times. And then just take a little glance down to your toes and see if you can spread your toes really wide on the mat. So just get a really good grounding feeling with the soles of the feet. And then just allow the soles of the feet to settle into the mat. And then working your way up from your feet to your knees. Find some softness in the knees. Coming up to your hips now. Your hips should be facing forward. And we're not dipping our pelvis either forward or back. So see if you can find that neutral position. Just rocking forward and back a few times. And then let it find that neutral. And just double check you haven't locked your knees again when you do that, because it's very easy to do it as soon as you move another part of the body. Just allow your arms to hang alongside the body, relaxing your shoulders. Find some length in the spine, all the way through the neck, down to the base of the spine, and all the way up to the top of your head. So you can soften your gaze or close your eyes, whichever feels best for you. And just notice how strong and steady you are in Tadasana. Really connected to the mat. Feel as though the whole of your weight is dropping down through the soles of the feet. And if there's a little wobble starting to come, just try and contain it without containing or creating any tension in the body. So that means not locking those knees again and not gripping the mat with your toes. So really spread the feet. Get that really good base with the feet. Just take a couple of breaths here just to ground and settle. And our theme for today is one of the 8 limbs of yoga. So we talk about the limbs of yoga, the asanas, the pranayama, the niyamas and yamas. So yamas are like ways of living that are more external. Niyamas relate to internal ways of living. So they're the first 4 limbs of yoga. The other 4 relate much more to when you're getting much deeper into meditation. So pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and then finally samadhi. So going back to the niyamas, niyamas are these internal ways of living. And the one we're focusing on today is tapas. And one of my ladies in my gentle years yoga has already texted me saying she's looking forward to her feast. It's not quite the Spanish variety. Tapas is all about generating heat in the body. And that heat burns away impurities. So it sort of gets your body going. It clears the mind. It clears the body of blockages. And one of the elements of tapas is having a sense of discipline. So we might say that that's practicing our yoga even when we might not really feel like it. So well done for getting up this morning on a dark, cold day, ready to practice your yoga. Because deep down, we really want to do this. So just taking a few breaths in and out. Just let everything settle. So we really want this yoga, and deep down, we might be thinking, oh, am I going to get out of bed and do this morning? But how much better will you feel for doing your practice? Hopefully you'll tell me at the end. So on your next exhalation, just drop your chin to your chest. Just find that lovely stretch to the back of the neck. Keep the shoulders down and relaxed. And then blinking your eyes open. Taking a breath in, lift your head. Welcome to class. So let's get some movement. So taking a breath in, take your hands out wide, reach up and overhead. Taking your gaze to your palms, breathing out, reaching the hands all the way as wide as you can before they come all the way back to the side body. So do that again, breathing in, reaching out and up. Breathing out, sending them out and down. Once more, breathing in, out and up. Breathing out. It's just starting to get some movements. Let's do it once more. And building a little bit of heat in the body. So really reaching away with those fingertips. And then the next time you reach up, leave your hands there. Make sure that you're reaching out of the shoulders. So we're not sending our shoulders up with the fingertips. And draw the fingertips together, the palms together. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, a nice little bend over to the right. Trying to keep those arms in line with the ears. Breathing in, come back to center. Breathing out, over to the left. So making this crescent shape. Breathe in, back to center. Over to the right once more, breathing out. So really focus on the side bend here. So trying not to go forward or back. Breathing in, back to center. Breathing out to the left. Breathing in, back to center. Release your hands. Just going to go sideways on here. So from your Tadasana, standing up straight and tall. Take your hands to your hips and just have a little bit of a squeeze here. So you're holding around that fleshy bit at the base of your ribs. Relax the shoulders down. Keep the knees soft. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, just sending that upper body forward. We're just keeping that half fold, keeping the flat back, and your gaze is to the mat. Keep the length in the spine. Breathe in, bring yourself all the way back up. Let's do that again. Breathing out. Come into that half fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Breathing in, coming back up. So you can feel as you come up how you need to press into the soles of the feet and activate the thighs. Do that once more. Breathing out to find that flat back. Breathing in, coming back up. Well done. So now, take your feet a little bit wider and just rest your hands on your thighs. And we're going to do some standing cat-cows. So relax the shoulders down. Take a breath in. We're going to come to cat first. So bending the knees, just rounding through the spine, dropping the chin to the chest. Just slide your hands a little bit towards your thighs. You're starting to round through the spine. Tucking the chin. Breathing in. Breathing out. Send the chin and the chest forward. Keep that slight bend in the knees. And find that cow position. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Breathe in. Breathe out. Cat pose. Slide your hands back to your knees. Tuck your chin. So really focus on getting some movement in the spine here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Cow pose. It's more difficult to do, isn't it, when you're stood here? You've got to really focus on the back. Breathing in. Breathing out. Cat pose. Breathing in. Breathing out. Cow pose. Breathing in. Slowly bring yourself all the way back up. So turn to face the long side of your mat now and have your feet slightly wider apart and the toes can go out at a slight angle. We're just going to do some 5-point star to goddess pose. So take a breath in, and as you breathe out, sinking down. No, sorry, I'm telling a fib. Let's start that again. So standing up straight and tall. Breathe in, breathe out, send the hands out to the side. Keep that strength in the legs. Take a breath in and then sink and find your goddess. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Breathing out, we come back to this star. Breathing in, goddess. So really try and find this upright position. Imagine you're between two panes of glass. Breathing out to reach. Breathing in for goddess. Sitting up straight and tall. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. I'll try and show you from the side. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Feeling a little bit warmer. Breathing out. Release the hands. Right, we're going to come down to the mat. We're just going to do a little breathing practice. It's quite a strong one. It's called Tadagi breath. It's a little bit like Kapalabhati, which is the strong breath from your abdomen. This one's slightly different. So what we're going to do with this is we take a breath in using Ujjayi breath. So you have that slight closure in your slight restriction in your throat. And then you breathe out with Ujjayi breath. And then when all of the breath has come out, you draw your belly in and you pump the belly. So you pump it. You can put your hands on your belly, you feel that pumping action. And you pump it in and out until you reach that point when you need an in-breath. So you're really going to generate some heat in your body here. Now, this one is not good for pregnant practitioners, and I know we haven't got any of those in this session. And it's also not much good if you've got a hernia. So if there's any issues with the hernia, then just stick with the Ujjayi breath. Okay, so otherwise sit up straight and tall. So let's give this a try. Let's get some rounds of Tadagi breath and build some fire, some agni in our bodies. So relax your shoulders, just place your one hand on your belly so you can control that pumping action. Take a breath in with Ujjayi breath. Breathing out Ujjayi, let it all go. And once it's all gone, pump that belly. As many times as is right for you. Don't keep going if you see I'm going. And then when you need a breath, take a deep breath in. Breathing out. Drawing the belly in, pump the belly. Breathe when you need to. Breathe out with Ujjayi. When all that breath is gone, draw the belly in, pump the belly. Breathe when you need to. Let's just do one more round. Breathing in with Ujjayi. Breathing out. Draw the belly in, pump the belly. And then breathe when you need to. And just allow your breath to return to normal. Just noticing how you feel. If you close your eyes for a moment. Sometimes you can feel a little bit more sort of sparkly in the head, a little bit clearer. Definitely a bit more heat around the body. I hope it makes you feel as though you've got just that little bit more energy. Stoking the fire right in the center of the body, the agni. A-G-N-I, agni. And the reason why we stoke this fire is not just to give us energies, but it's to burn away impurities in the body. Well done. So let's come to all fours. So find your all fours position. Toes can be into the mat or tops of the feet resting, whichever you decide is best for you. We're going to do 5 thread the needles on each side. So engage your tummy muscles. Find that flat back. Take a breath in, float your right hand up to the ceiling. Breathing out, send the back of the hand behind your left hand. Reaching through, rest the right side of your face and your shoulder to the mat. Have a deep bend in your left arm. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, diving through. Breathing in to reach. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one on this side. And then breathe in return to your all fours position. Just take a breath here. Just noticing how the one side of the body feels. And then your next inhalation, float the left hand up. And noticing the difference between each side. And then breathe out, sending that arm through. Breathing in to reach. Breathing out to slide through. And I don't know if you've noticed it, but I noticed after you've done that Tadagi breath, that you feel a little bit more open around the belly. You can get into these twists a little bit easier. So just have a little moment as you do this, thread the needle, noticing whether it feels any different around your waistline. So that's 5 on that side. Come back to all fours. Find that all fours position. Just take a breath here. Let everything settle. And then sit back onto your heels. So I think the heat is building. So from your kneeling position, just going to do a couple of kneeling salutes. So take your hands together at the heart center. Take a breath in. Reach the hands up and overhead. Turn the palms to face forward. Breathe out and reach into swan pose. Sending your forehead down to the mat. Breathing in, come up to all fours. Tuck your toes into the mat. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, round into cat pose. Push that mat away. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lead with your chin and chest. Come into cow pose. Breathing in. Breathing out. Cat. Breathing in. Breathing out. Cow. Really work through the spine here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Cat pose. Breathing in. Breathing out. Cow pose. Breathing in. Come back to all fours. Toes are into the mat. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, lift your knees and your hips. Come to downward facing dog. Just have a little walk with your feet, sending the heels down towards the mat. Just get that nice stretch into the hamstrings. And then let the heels settle towards the mat. Drop your head through your arms. Take a breath here. And as we breathe out, we're just going to shift the weight through into plank, rolling over onto our toes, taking our knees down to the mat if you want to, and come to low cobra, or you can stay here in up dog. If cobra is better for you, knees and hips, and bend the elbows, keeping the gaze forward. Don't crunch the back of the neck. Otherwise, up dog. Take a breath in here, breathing out, rolling over the toes, back to downward facing dog. Breathing in, breathing out, knees to the mat, back to all fours. Let's do 3 more cat-cows. So breathing in, breathing out, round the spine to cat. Push that mat away, really open through the shoulders. Breathe in, breathe out, cow pose. Breathe in, breathe out, cat pose. Breathe in, breathe out, cow pose. Breathe in, breathe out, cat pose. Breathe in, breathe out, cow pose. Leave your hands where they are, take a breath in. As you breathe out, send your hips back to your heels. Reaching into swan pose, send the forehead down to the mat. Take a breath in here. Float your hands up and away from the mat. Bring the palms to face each other. Exhale to the heart center. Well done. So that was our kneeling salute, just to start to get some movement into the body. So take your hands in front of you onto the mat. Rolling forward a little bit onto your knees, toes into the mat. Take a breath in, come up to Uttanasana, forward fold. Walk your hands back towards your feet. So we're going to do some spinal rolls here. So just have some softness in your knees. Take a breath in and slowly, slowly just roll through the spine. Bring yourself up to standing, just allowing the hands to rest alongside the body. Breathing in, breathing out, rolling back down. So one vertebra at a time. Rolling down until your fingertips or your hands touch the mat. So do this 3 times, rolling up slowly, slowly. Really feeling that movement into the spine, bringing your head up last. And then rolling all the way back down. Coming up once more. And just noticing the next time we go down, do you come down a little bit further? Maybe more of your hands are on the mat. So just stay here for a moment in this Uttanasana. And then very slowly bring yourself back up. Back to Tadasana, hands to the heart center. Just let everything settle, especially our blood pressure. So we're going to do the classic Surya Namaskar. When we do sun salutations, there's an element of discipline involved in those, just because of the repetitive nature. And we generally only do a couple when we're doing it, but when you see the practitioners out in India, they do hundreds. Just keep on going. I won't get you to do that this morning. So stand up straight and tall. Just get rid of the naughty boy. Go on. We'll start at the we'll start at the front of the mat. Standing up straight and tall. Just take your hands, excuse me, place them just behind your back here, on the sort of around the back of the hips area. Take a breath in, reach the hands up and overhead. As you breathe out, add in a mini back bend. Breathing in, return to center, breathe out, dive all the way down to the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend your knees enough to plant your hands, breathe in. Breathe out, step one foot back, then the other into downward facing dog. Just let your head drop through your arms. Breathing in, Come up onto your toes. As you breathe out, step your right foot forward. So we're in this lunge position. There's a choice here. You can take the left leg down to the mat. The knee can go to the mat if you don't feel balanced. So at the moment, I'm up on my toes. You can also take that back foot into a 45-degree angle and ground the foot like warrior one position. Take a breath in, breathing out, reaching the hands up into this crescent position, crescent pose. Breathe in, breathe out, float the hands back to the mat, release the foot back into downward facing dog. Breathing in, send the weight forward over the hands. We're going to chaturanga down to the mat. So release the knees, cross the feet at the ankles, chin and chest to the mat. Slide it forward and through. Release the feet. Come into cobra. Taking a breath in here. As you breathe out, come back to all fours. From this all fours position, take a breath in, breathe out, downward facing dog. Breathe in, come up onto your toes, shift the weight forward, step the left leg through. Have that option to stay up on this back leg or take it down. Your choice. Breathing in, breathing out, step the foot forward. Slowly, slowly bring yourself up. Breathing in, reach the hands up and overhead. Take your gaze to your palms. Breathe out, mini back bend. Breathing in, back to center. Release your hands back to that position where we started. Send the elbows behind. And then release. Well done. So we're going to do that again. This time we're going to lead with the left hand side. Taking a breath in, reaching up and overhead. Breathing out, mini back bend. Breathing in, back to center. Breathe out, dive to the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Plant your hands. Breathing out, step back to down dog. Lead with your left foot this time. Downward facing dog. Breathing in. Come up onto your toes. Breathe out as you step the left foot forward. So remember the options. Knee can go down. The foot can go down. Take a breath in. Breathing out. Come up to your present lunge. Breathing in. Breathing out, take your hands back to the mat. Step that left foot back into downward facing dog. Breathing in, shifting the weight forward, chaturanga down to the mat. So knees, cross the ankles, chin and chest, slide through. This time you can come to up dog, if that's good for you, or staying low cobra. Breathe in. Breathe out, knees back to the mat. Come to your all fours. Breathing in, breathing out. Lifting the hips, come back to downward facing dog. Breathing in. Shift the weight forward. Breathe out as you step your right foot forward. Check in with that back leg. A knee, decide what your option is. Breathing in. Oops, sorry, I was going to get you to do a harder one. Step your left foot forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathing in slowly, slowly. Reaching your hands up to the ceiling. Breathing out. mini back bend. Breathing in, back to center. Breathing out, release those hands back behind you. Take a breath, bring your hands together. So let's do that whole sequence once more. Building on our discipline and building on our heat. So just have a breath here. Let everything settle. And then we'll go again. Take your hands to your back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, stand up straight and tall. Breathing in, reach the hands up and overhead. Take your gaze to your palms. Breathe out, mini back bend. Breathing in, back to center. Breathe out, dive to the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend your knees. Breathing out, step right leg, then left leg, back to downward facing dog. Breathing in, shift the weight forward, breathe out, step the right foot into this lunge position. Options with your knee to the mat, to your foot to the mat. Take a breath in, breathing out, come back to your crescent lunge. Reaching the hands alongside the ears, lifting your chin. Breathe out, sweep the hands all the way down to the mat. Release the right leg to downward facing dog. Breathing in, shifting the weight forward, chaturanga down to the mat. Knees cross at the ankles, chin and chest slide forward and through. Up dog or cobra. Breathe in, breathe out. Downward facing dog. Breathe in, shift the weight forward. Breathe out, step the left foot forward. Breathing in, step the right foot forward. Uttanasana, breathe out. Breathing in, come up and away from the mat. Reaching up, breathing out. Mini back bend. Breathing in, back to center. Breathing out, release the hands. Ready to go the other side. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, mini back bend. Breathing in, back to center. Breathe out, dive to the mat. Plant the hands to bend the knees. Breathing out, step back with your left foot, then your right. Downward facing dog. Breathing in, shift the weight forward, step the left foot forward. Coming up into crescent pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Hands to the mat. Step that foot back into downward facing dog. Breathing in, shift the weight forward, chaturanga down to the mat and knees, chin, chest, slide through. Come to up dog or cobra. Breathe in, breathe out, knees to the mat. Come to all fours and then release your hips up to downward facing dog. Take a breath in, shift the weight forward, step the right foot through to your hand. Coming up to crescent. No, we're not. I'm always trying to make you do that, aren't I? Take a breath in. Breathe out. Step the left foot forward. Uttanasana. Breathing in slowly, slowly. Reach your hands up. Breathe out. Mini back bend. Breathe in back to center. Breathe out, release your hands behind you. Open the chest, squeeze the shoulders. Breathe in. Bring your hands to the heart center. Well done. Let the body settle. Hopefully, lots of energy flying around. Everybody feeling good. Excellent. So, let's just do one more nice little stretch. So, come to about the middle of your mat. Take a breath in. We're going to come to warrior one. So as you breathe out, step your foot forward, plant the back heel down into the mat at a 45-degree angle. Breathing in, breathing out, float the hands up into warrior one as you bend that right knee. So adjust your feet so that your right knee doesn't go forward of the right ankle. Breathe in. Breathe out, drop the right hand forward, left hand back, warrior two. Just take a gaze back to your left hand, make sure your arms are in alignment, and then your gaze goes back to the right hand. Take a breath in here, breathing out. Take your right hand, arm and place it on your right thigh. Reach the left arm up and over, extended side angle. So your palm is facing down. You can take your gaze to that palm if your neck feels good and your balance is good. Breathe in, breathe out, float the hands back, warrior two. Reaching away with those fingertips. Breathe in. Breathe out, step the back leg to the top of the mat. Come back to your Tadasana. Just allow everything to settle. We're going to do the same on the other side. So going back towards the middle of the mat. This time we're going to have our left foot forward and back, right leg back. So you pick your position on the mat and your gap. You know how far you need to have your legs so that you don't send your knee forward. Taking a breath in. As you breathe out, sink into warrior one, reaching the hands alongside your ears. Keep your gaze forward. Breathing in, breathing out, left hand forward, right hand behind. Really try and touch the wall in front of you and the wall behind. You're opening the chest and the shoulders here. And you're sending this right hip back. Breathe in, breathing out, left arm to left thigh, reach the right arm up and over. Find that lovely straight line from your right fingertips all the way down to your right toes. Breathing in, breathing out, warrior two. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Breathing in, breathing out. Release the hands. Step forward to the top of the mat. Hands together at the heart center. Just let everything settle. And then release your hands. Take your feet a little bit wider. We're going to sink down to the mat into our deep squat. So hands together at the heart center. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, just sink down through the center into this squat. So see if you can lift your chest here and use the backs of your upper arms to sort of open through your legs. So you're almost jamming those arms into that position, encouraging those legs to open. And then have a little rock from side to side. Just working into those hips. And then release your hands down to the mat in front of you and really work the shoulders down in between the legs so you feel quite stable here now. The palms of the hands are resting on the mat. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, float your right hand up into the air. Breathing in, breathing out. Take it back to the mat. Hook that back of the shoulder into the right knee. Breathe in, breathing out. Left arm floats up. It's a little bit of a balance. It's a nice opening through the chest, and you're still working into those hips. Breathing out. Reach it down. So let's just do that once more on each side. It's always good to repeat a move, because when you first do it, your body thinks, what on earth are you getting me to do? And it's always better the second time around. Breathe out, place your hand back to the mat. Breathing in, breathing out. Reaching. Breathing out, take your hands back to the mat. And now very gently and elegantly sit your hips back to the mat. Well done. So just come back to your mat. Extend your legs out in front of you. Let's just release those feet and ankles. So just have a little circle of the ankles. They might be feeling a little bit tense after that deep squat. And then sit up straight and tall. Float your hands up and overhead as you breathe in. Breathe out. Just start to move forward. So if you're trying to place the bottom of your ribs onto your thighs, just come as far as is right for you. Reaching at the same time. Trying not to round the back. Breathing in, float the hands back up. So really get some length here. Reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. You're creating a gap from the bottom of your rib cage all the way down to the hips. There's a nice gap here. Breathe in, breathe out, floating forward. So just these small movements will generate that heat in our body as we're encouraging that stretch. Breathing in, float the hands back up. Last time, reaching to the ceiling. Keep the shoulders down and relax. You're reaching out of the shoulders. Find that gap from the bottom of the rib cage. Breathing out. Folding forward. And then this time, just allow the back to rest towards the knees. Have a bend in your knees if you need to. Just take a breath here. Breathe in. Come all the way back to your Dandasana seated pose. So just coming down to the mat into semi-supine. We'll just finish with a nice twist. So taking your hands out to the side, palms facing down, so your hands are in a T shape. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, extend the left leg away from you and drop your right knee over towards the left. So it's just a nice little twist. The knee won't touch the mat. It's just giving us that twist in the lower spine. And actually, you don't want the knee to go down to the mat because that would be too much of a twist in the sacrum area. You can put a block under the knee if that feels better. Just giving your knee a bit of support. And you can take your gaze to your right hand. So just breathing into this twist. It's quite nice to hook your right top of your foot behind the left knee. So this twist is something we should do every day. Such a good movement for the whole of the body. Keep your shoulders down into the mat. Breathing in, return head to center, return your right knee to center, rolling back onto the spine. Breathing in, draw the left leg in. Breathe out, right leg extends, left knee drops over towards the right. So hook that left foot behind the right knee if that feels good. And take your gaze to the left. Just breathing into this gentle twist. Relax your shoulders down into the mat. Keeping that length through the right side of the body. And that twist into the left side of the body. Breathing in, come back to center. Draw the right knee up to that semi-supine position. And then on your next inhalation, draw both knees up and over your chest and just have a little hug and a little roll. Massage your back. Just do whatever feels good, little circular movements. Maybe take your hands to your knees and make some circular movements through your hips. Go in both directions. And then release the feet down to the mat and just grab your layers and set yourself up for a few minutes of relaxation. Coming down to your mat, lying out in Shavasana. Have your feet slightly wider than hip distance apart. Let the toes drop out to the side. Your hands alongside your body, palms facing up. Or you might want to place one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. That feels good. Just have a little release through the head and the neck, just turning the head side to side. And then let it return to center. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, just consciously let that body sink into the mat. Letting go of all the tensions, letting go of any areas that might feel tight in the body. But just taking a moment to observe how the body is feeling after all those energetic asanas. Have you fired up that agni in the center of the body? Now it's time to let everything settle. Taking your attention to the space at the top of your head, moving on to your forehead. Release your forehead and your face. Release your jaw. Release the sides of your neck, over your shoulders, down your arms, all the way to your hands and your fingertips. Let your arms feel heavy and relaxed. Let your head feel heavy and relaxed. Relax the spine all the way from the back of the head, down the back body to the hips. Allow the hips to sink deeper into the mat. Relax all the way down the legs, passing the knees, the ankles, the feet and the toes. Let the legs feel heavy and sink deeper into the mat. Focus on the whole body now. Let it feel heavy and relaxed. With each exhalation, just let the body sink deeper. Letting go. No tension in the body. And then with your next inhalation, imagine that the body feels really light and it's floating away from the mat. Just hold that feeling of lightness for a few moments. Stay in your own space. Now taking a deep breath in through the nose As you breathe out, just allow the whole body to rest down on your mat. And start to bring some movement back into the body. Moving your fingers and your toes. Rotating your wrists and your ankles. And with your next inhalation, float your hands up and overhead. And do a full body stretch, point from your fingers to your toes. And then breathe out, allow the arms to rest behind you. Breathing in, bend your knees, plant your feet on the floor. Breathing out, rolling over onto your right hand side. Just hug your knees up close to your chest. Give yourself a touch. And then when you're ready, bring yourself back up to a seated position. Everyone okay? Feeling nice and energized? Sorry, it wasn't the tapas of the Spanish variety. Yeah. So let's finish with our 3 breaths together. Take your hands out to the side, fingertips to the mat. Sit up straight and tall. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out. Hands to the heart center. Breathing in. Breathing out. Once more, breathing in. Breathing out. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.